go global, affecting women from everywhere.
Well, I had a really uncomplicated pregnancy. I was induced. They tried everything in the book to get me to dilate. Like, I had a really rough labor experience in labor for 39 hours and ended up having to have a C-section because I couldn't dilate past 8 centimeters, even though they had tried every position available. They had tried the Cook's catheter, just nothing was working. So we talked it over, and because they had broke my water, I had meconium in the water, they felt that a C-section was the best option. Apparently I got a ton of fluid during my C-section. So after she was born, I started swelling, like my legs were super swollen. And I would ask the nurses when they would come in and check on me, and they were like, that's just normal. You had so much fluid. So I took their word for it. I went home, started getting pretty short of breath. Like, I would walk up the stairs and have to sit down, or even just getting ready after taking a shower, I would have to sit on the toilet just to catch my breath. So I made an appointment because I was actually worried about my C-section incision, and went to see the doctor. And I mentioned that I was short of breath. He took my blood pressure in the office, and it was pretty high. It was like 170 something. They had me sit there about 10 minutes just laying down on the table. It was still almost 170 systolic. So they sent me to the ER. My blood pressure when I got to the ER was 160/100, and my heart rate was about 120. Still really swollen. My feet were huge. I was swollen, like, honestly up to here. So they did some blood work. They wanted to make sure, I wasn't in like postpartum eclampsia, anything like that. They did a D-dimer, which checks for like blood clots, and it was more elevated than they expected even after giving birth. So they ordered a CT scan, and it came back and showed my heart was enlarged. And the ER doctor was like, there's this really rare disorder called peripartum cardiomyopathy, but I doubt you have that. I think you just got too much fluid. I've talked to your obstetrician, like, we're going to set you up for an outpatient echo, but I doubt that's what it is. You're fine. So I assume that's what it was. They gave me some Lasix. I lost 25 pounds in 2 days, and I felt great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I went and had the echo, and it honestly took a couple days to get that back because they accidentally set the results to my OB instead of the cardiologist. It was a mess. But they called and they said, your ejection fraction is 30 to 35. So we got to do something about that. So they started me on some medicines. The cardiologist I'm working with is great. He made sure everything I was on was safe to breastfeed, which I do want to say, going to the hospital, I was 6 days postpartum. Had to leave her alone for 5 hours with my husband. She wouldn't take formula. We had no breast milk saved, like definitely not what we expected.
Right.
Then I'd been doing okay. And then Thanksgiving, I started getting really short of breath again. And I'm a nurse, so I think I can fix everything myself.
So that you are a nurse, that is a plus.
Well, I had never heard of the peripartum cardiomyopathy, even being a nurse, but I was really short of breath, and I was like, I'll be fine. Like, my parents, they have some health problems. They were going to bring me an oxygen concentrator so I could try to breathe better. But my husband, he called me on my bull and was like, you need to go to the hospital. So I really thought it was going to be like the same visit. Like, I'll be out in 5 hours. It'll be fine.
Oh my God.
I got there. You're awful.
Yes.
But I got there, and I work in the ER. So that, like, of course I know everybody, and they're like, so we're going to put you on BiPAP and give you some nitro paste. And like, that was my, oh crap moment, because that's what we do for really sick people. And I realized I was one of them.
Yes.
So I spent 2 nights in the hospital, and because of COVID, my husband and my daughter weren't able to see me. And they did a repeat echo, and my ejection fraction is now at 20 to 25%. So I got sent home with a life vest, which is an external defibrillator. So I have this little pack that I carry around everywhere. I've named it Annie, which if you've ever taken a CPR class, they go, Annie, are you okay? So this is Annie.
Showing that, are you able to show like the screen on like what it looks like, just in case? Because we do have other heart sisters that like don't know what it is, but they need it. or we at least want them to like recommend it, you know, to their doctors, because a lot of the doctors, I don't think they're still learning about life vests.
So it says life vest, and if you push it, it pops up and it shows my name. I change the battery once a day. If I were to go unresponsive because I had a lethal heart rhythm, it tells people what to do around me. If it gives me an alert and I'm still conscious, I just hit the buttons and it delays treatment, which would be a shock. And it will tell people treatment delayed, bystanders do not intervene. If I go unconscious and it shocks me, it tells people like, if unconscious, start CPR, call 911. It talks just like an AED does that you see in CPR classes or out in public, you know, hanging on the walls.
That's amazing. And I know it gives you a peace of mind.
It does. You know, I don't feel scared to be at home with my daughter alone.
Yes. I went through that same thing with the life vest. I had to wear it for 7 months.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So I'm hoping you don't have to wear it that long. But even if you do, are they talking about it as well?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Are they talking about the ICD as well?
My doctor started me on an ACE inhibitor my last visit. They hadn't done that before because my blood pressure was so low. So he's really hoping that with that, my EF will improve and I won't have to go that route. We're just kind of playing it by ear right now.
Okay, well, I'm hoping that everything is straightened out within a reasonable time, because I know I went past that 6-month mark and my doctor was like, all right, we're going to have to, you know, get you the ICD if you don't improve. And I was like, I don't want the ICD. But yeah, I ended up slipping into that 7th month. He gave me 1 more month and I didn't make it. But, you know, I'm doing better now. So, you know, don't be discouraged, even if it, you know, if your numbers aren't up, you know, because they still come up. And I know some of us slowly recover, some fastly recover. It just depends on our bodies, you know, but it's okay. It's a process. It really is. So after the life vest, was it certain, like, did the doctor what doctor you said it was rare, but they didn't think that you had it? Like, how did that doctor react? Was that the same doctor who diagnosed you with it?
No, that was the ER doctor, and I haven't worked with him, but I'm interested to tell him, like, hey, not as rare as you think.
Yes, that is crazy. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you work in a hospital, because that's like where we need awareness at, in the hospitals.
And you know, I've talked to so many of like my coworkers and friends, and so many people are like, wait, you went into heart failure because you had a baby? I'm like, yeah, apparently it's a thing.
That is a thing. Oh my gosh. So have they ever heard of it?
Most of them haven't. A couple of them have done, like, gone on and been through like women's health clinics, but it's still not something that they like really studied up on or know a whole lot about.
Okay, well, I'm just so glad that you found out in time and that you're able to.
Me too.
Treatment, yes, because that's the issue with PPCM is we don't know what's going on. We think everything is normal. Did you think your symptoms was normal? You thought everything was, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I had nurses, and even the doctor that discharged me, she's like, you just got a lot of fluid. Like, it'll go off, it'll come off. And so, I mean, I've never had a baby before. I've never had surgery before. So I just figured it was normal C-section recovery.
Yeah. Did it change how you felt mentally or, emotionally, physically, or anything?
Yeah. I mean, the whole diagnosis has been tough because, I'm young, I'm 26, and now I'm on a fluid restriction. I'm on a sodium restriction. So it's really hard, like, going out with friends. And I mean, my friends are great, but they don't get it. They'll be like, oh, do you want to split this? And I'm like, I can't. That's way too much sodium. Or, going out to dinner is a whole ordeal. It requires a whole lot of planning. And I do miss that, hey, let's go grab Mexican and margaritas, and being able to do that without a care in the world.
Yes. Oh, no, that's the hard part. Or being offered a drink. Be like, no, I don't drink. I'm a patient. I got medicine.
Yeah. And like, it's been tough, because Physically, I feel pretty good. I mean, you know, I get up and move and then I'm a little tired, but realizing that I'm actually as sick as I am has been a struggle. Like being in the hospital this last time was a huge wake up call. Like, whoa, okay, this is real. This is serious. It's not something you can just like brush under the rug and be like, you're fine, you're fine.
Yes, which we know nurses do that.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's because you guys, you know, you might feel that you know how to treat yourselves, you know, so that's a good mindset. But you still was able to find out in a good time, so that's good. How many months is the baby?
She's 3 months.
It's 3 months. I think it is. Okay, so tiny, you missed 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
That time flies, so enjoy it.
I am. Like, she's already doing crunches, trying to sit up, and I mean, it's just flying by.
Yes, I thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
To bring awareness to it, especially in the nurses. So shout out to the nurses and the hospital staffs out there. Oh, okay. I'm finna get ready to stop our recording real quick, and then I'll finish the conversation. Okay. All right. Oh.